So, you want to become smart in conversations, in studies, in work, but most people make it way harder than it really is. We think, oh, smart people must have read 200 books, gone to fancy colleges, or been born with some upgraded brain chip. Spoiler alert, they haven't. Becoming smart is actually kind of simple. Not easy like scrolling Instagram, but simple like this makes sense. Why didn't I do it before? Being smart isn't a degree, it's a decision. Most of us were told, study for 12 years of school, 4 years of college, then maybe 6 years of master's, and then you'll be intelligent. But that's like saying you'll only get fit after you buy a treadmill, not after you actually walk on it. Intelligence isn't a certificate. It's how you train your mind to learn something new every single day. The main thing you need to do is read, but read smartly. Here's the secret. Smart people read a lot, but not always what you think. Fiction helps in build imagination and vocabulary, and it helps in reading faster. But most people go straight for nonfiction, which is indeed the key to get the interesting knowledge, information, and ideas you can use, but the key is to not be obnoxious about it. And no, watching 30 reels of business tips in 10 seconds doesn't count as reading. That's like drinking water from a perfume bottle. Looks smart, tastes dumb. For example, if you read this book, you can come off in conversation to anyone who knows about politics. You seriously don't get it, do you? That party's whole strategy is just populism, promising what can't be delivered to keep people hooked. I've read every economic report. I know how these things work. Their foreign policy is a joke, and their budget decisions are short-sighted. It's honestly embarrassing how easily people fall for it. You sound like you've memorized a news debate. I get why people like that party. Their communication is powerful. But if you look deeper, their strategy leans more towards short-term popularity than long-term reform. For instance, a few of their economic moves boosted public approval but created fiscal pressure later. It's a smart tactic politically, but risky economically. That actually makes sense. You sound like you've studied this stuff. Saying, "You don't get it, do you?" before proving someone wrong will make you instantly unlikable. Instead of showing off, you can explain it. You can be smart, but also polite, and also sounds like you touch grass. Now, how do you find these books? It's actually really easy. You don't have to read the same 5 books everyone tells you to read. Just think of the topic you want to learn and ask for the PDF of those topics. If you want to know about the best books, comment down below and I will make a separate video on it. The magic formula: learn, use, remember. You can read all the books in the world, but here's the truth. If you don't apply knowledge, your brain treats it as useless and you'll forget it. You only have to know 20% of the knowledge to master 80% of the skill. That's just how your brain works. It's like, oh, you learned something? Cool. Wait, are we using it? No? Okay, delete. So if you learn a new concept, do something with it today. Write about it, teach it, use it in your project. Otherwise, your brain will clean it out like spam mail. This is how you get smart. Use everything you learn or imagine yourself in the moment. This is actually you learning all along. It is basically 20 years before you use it. Your teacher creates you an imaginary situation where you use that knowledge. It is there useful in a test, an exam that has questions on that exact piece of info, and if you get it wrong, you fail. This at least makes your brain attempt to remember that information. The only problem is when the test is over, you forget it as it's not useful anymore. Some people says repetition or studying in intervals or mind mapping will help them get better and give to good grades, but in reality, doing practice questions will give you the results because they simulate the actual situation in which you'll need to use what you learned. Practice is what builds intelligence. People think smartness means knowing everything. No, it means practicing how to figure things out. Ask questions. Solve problems. Don't just highlight notes. Highlight your mistakes and fix them. If you don't have any practice questions, imagine and create from your own mind. Like, for example, you're hanging off a cliff with one arm, and someone's there to pull you up, but only if you can name all the parts of the human body. When you practice, your mind becomes like a muscle. And yes, it's the only muscle you can overuse without looking weird at the gym.
Last, textbooks greater than shortcuts. It might sound old school, but textbooks still work. They're organized, distraction-free, and written by people who actually know stuff, not someone in their pajamas saying, "Trust me, bro." Videos, summaries, and AI, can help. But the real upgrade happens when you focus, read deeply, and take notes that make you think. At the end, the real way to be smart. So yeah, becoming smart is easy actually. Read more, apply what you learn, practice often. Repeat. That's it. No magic, no secret hack, no brain supplement. Because being smart isn't about knowing everything, it's about knowing what to do with what you already know. So the next time you learn something, don't just nod and move on. Use it. Build with it. Because that's how you turn knowledge into intelligence.